So what we're going to do now, though, we're going to transition into more just an open form sharing from Minister's Toolbox. Now that we've had time to bounce ideas off each of the first 2 weeks, whether it's something that you guys came up with about the first 2 weeks or not, there's something really simple in the power of a great idea. And there's a lot of ideas that have lived out the course, in our movement in history. I mean, when the idea got brought up to do a soul talk or a Bible talk in the dorm, that changed our movement forever, right? When the idea got said, hey, why don't we actually follow Jesus's teachings on one another, relationships, on discipling? That changed our movement forever. And then during these COVID times, we're all looking for ideas and we're all experimenting with different ideas about how do we have an incredible campus ministry that's successful during COVID. Even defining what is success during COVID is another topic. But so what we're going to do now, we're just going to open up the floor. What is something that you've either implemented in your ministry during these COVID times that's gone great, whether it's virtual, whether it's not, whether it's a way to reach out, have Bible studies, or what's something that you've thought of doing going forward into the semester, that you're really excited about trying? And whether that's on campus, because your campus can have an on-campus presence, or that's completely virtual. We just want to have about 20 minutes of random ideas. And we're looking for anything and everything. It can be as simple as a virtual leaders meetings with polls. And this is how our polls and our virtual leaders meeting has been super helpful. Or it can be as creative as something no one else has heard of before. So we really are opening up. We want to hear any and every idea. We just want to stimulate each other's thinking to figure out, man, what you could say could be exactly what another ministry needs to hear to implement in their ministry. So we're gonna open it up here. Who wants to share an idea that's been working in their ministry or something that they're excited about doing? And as we're warming up, if anyone wants to share something from your breakout that you were excited about talking about, you can share that to start out too. Who wants to go first? All right, go for it, bro.
You good? Can y'all hear me? Okay. So one of the things Nadia mentioned in our breakout session was something that we've probably all heard of or tried in the past is mock evangelism, where like you're in a room with your ministry and you're pretending that you're like overcoming objections that you might receive when you're sharing your faith cold contact on campus. Well, if you couldn't make cold contact sharing any more awkward, now we're gonna have to do it during COVID when everybody's like, don't come near me, don't breathe on me, don't touch me. So I just think it would be really cool if we took that to a whole nother level, where we basically like tried to come up with scenarios of what people might be saying when you try to cold contact, evangelize people that are wearing masks, that are already worried. Like, how can we try to get comfortable in that uncomfortable space? Like just kind of having that, that be like getting a lot of reps in for all the disciples who are going to be already nervous to share with people in general. And then you multiply that with the mask factor and everything else going on. Just thought that would be really helpful to kind of knock the rust off and even just try some new things, say some new things, and just get people comfortable reaching out. I thought that's very needed because honestly, the amount of cold contact evangelism for me is just like plummeted over the summer. And so just really excited to try out some of that stuff.
Amen. We were actually thinking we were still having 50 people come here in person to all go to the park, just share a faith with mask on, just to practice the level you're saying. And you guys want to introduce yourselves, and everyone going forward to introduce yourselves also.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, I'm Daniel. This is my wife, Nadia. We serve the church in Fort Collins at Colorado State University.
Amen. Thanks for sharing, guys. All right, we'll go Sydney, Sid, and Alex next.
Awesome. Do I need to wait for you to give me a go ahead?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and start talking? We got you spotlighted here.
Okay. I'm Alex. This is Sydney, and she's in Denver, Colorado, and I'm in Boulder, Colorado. And something that we've been implementing in Boulder is it's a big university. And so they have hashtags on Instagram for incoming freshmen. So like the hashtag is hashtag BoulderBound. So with our ministry Instagram, I just go through that hashtag about every week, and I follow every one of those kids who has said they're coming to Boulder. So I think it's a helpful way. We still have freshmen moving into the dorms, but because we're going to be limited on being able to interact with them, just getting to have their social media and be able to DM them ahead of time. So because, this freshman year is going to be kind of different for them, that they already know they have a community that's reaching out to them.
I think that's incredible. And I think for all of us, and I'm sure we'll have more ideas, the more we can figure out how to use our virtual and social media is going to be super helpful. Let's keep going. Jose Meza, I'll spotlight you, man. Go ahead.
Awesome. Appreciate it. Hi, guys. I am from Fresno, California, moving down to Whittier, California, to be an intern, help start campus ministry up. And yeah, well, hi, that's me. So 2 things real quick. One was an idea that we had gotten from in our little breakout room. It's from Nick and Josie Ziegler, I believe I pronounced that right, from San Antonio. They threw out the idea of getting in contact with the university and talking to specifically at the student union and asking to be featured on their page or whatever they're posting out there. Because a lot of these freshmen and new students are obviously trying to look up, okay, what's going on in their campuses, but obviously able to just be spotlighted on their page and right there, you are really marketed, you know what I mean? And so I think that's a phenomenal, easy, practical, I don't know if it's about easy, but it's a very practical way to just get your name to show on our campus. And the other thing I was thinking about was for just even getting connected with people here, new people we meet. I just think our ministries need to be socially focused and with each other, having things that we do to strengthen our relationships. And one of the things we've been doing here in Fresno is just doing movie nights on an app called Discord. I know Zoom is a little bit weird to show all that, and videos don't always show very well. But Discord is one of those things that you can stream, easy to see each other and talk and all that kind of stuff. And so just taking up our own interests, the things that we personally do to still connect with. We can't go to the movies together like we used to, but we can still bring the movies to us, but having special interests with each other and then just bringing people along with that, inviting them to be part of our lives in that way. So that's it. Thank you.
Amen. Thanks for sharing. And inspired by you going to starting up a campus ministry in the midst of the quarantine. So fired up about that. Yeah, we've in Atlanta for our midweeks through the summer, we watched The Chosen. If y'all haven't seen The Chosen yet, it is a TV show, multi-season TV show about Jesus. It is absolutely blow away. And usually it is so cheesy, I turn it off halfway through for regular kind of Christian or Jesus shows. This one, I cried on most of them. So it was amazing. And you can actually stream it together through the Chosen app. Check it out. All right, let's keep going. The Griffins, you spotlight you guys can go ahead.
All right. Well, I'm JJ. This is Trinity and our little crazy toddler, Thomason or Tommy. And yeah, thanks for doing this. This has been awesome. But I think for us, what's helped kind of this summer is we really want to grow in our ability to train. And so for training, I think we have been focusing on our leaders, but we also were able to identify kind of an up and coming or young guns leaders group. And so we tried to go through a series of the heart and really focusing on the heart and training them for the semester. So we've gotten a lot of great feedback. That's been really awesome. And then the other thing, I think with the baptisms that we've had, I think we've been able to focus on training the follow-up studies. So sorry, she's distracting, but it's been really helpful to be able to help train our people in taking care of the young Christians as well, which I think COVID has helped us to have a focus on that. So thank you.
Amen, bro. And she's not distracting. She's adorable. And I appreciate that. We might have a couple more ideas on leaders, but yeah, focusing on our leaders and trying to maximize leadership training during this time, I think is going to be key for all of us. Thanks for kicking that off, JJ. All right, we'll go to Carla Fernandez.
Hello, everyone. I'm from South Florida, from Broward Church. One of the ideas that we've been working on for the social media is to create challenges. I think it's really important to showcase the fellowship and the ministry in different areas, and also creating challenges. Like, for example, last week, something that we did was dance like David, and many people joined. It was really fun, bringing some joy and laughter to everybody, and that was another way of spreading the gospel and just evangelizing and overall. But I think there's a great idea for, creating challenges for social media, especially for colleges and universities that are not in person yet, especially here in South Florida. We're still remotely, like everybody's online. And what I've noticed is that slowly, like we saw like a decline in people joining in Zoom meetings and things like that, because people were tired of, just watching the same thing, and it can get really disconnecting. So something great that we thought as a whole ministry was, let's create, some challenges, and that also is going to create content for your social media, especially since we're not in person. Having people submit videos, pictures, and doing things together. Like some people, that we're living in the same household, they were taking videos together, and that was a great way to spread the gospel and still have people connected, but not at the same time connected, if that makes sense. So that's a great way to have content, like a constant flow, and have people stay connected during these hard times. That's a little bit of my idea.
Love it. And yeah, I think I've even been learning recently about content calendars and things like that on social media. It's a great kickoff. If you can you send, even for that Dance Like David, like how you guys did that, can you send that to the email that we posted, and we can send that out to everyone, just like the steps, because things like that I think would be a lot of people to want to know how you did that. Thanks for sharing.
Definitely.
All right. Maya Turner, we'll go to you next.
Hi, my name is Maya. I'm a campus intern in the Milwaukee Church of Christ in Wisconsin. And this isn't my idea. It's an idea that was shared with me, but it was picking a book for the campus ministry to read together. And then it could be like talked about during Devos, like every Friday when everybody got together during the Zoom calls. But it was also really cool because like 2-3 brothers or sisters could get together and like have these assigned discussion questions like about the book, and like they were able to like talk about the book but still get fellowship time together, just in like smaller groups. I know like we were picking like a bunch of IPI, or like considering a bunch of IPI books. I know we picked Master Plan of Evangelism specifically because with the pandemic it was a bit of a struggle, but yeah, it was just something that I thought of and something that could be really cool, just reading a book together. So yeah.
Love that. And we in the Southeast, we did the same thing. We went through Master Plan of Evangelism. We did one cool thing. We got the idea from the ACR, but we had a Southeast virtual internship where interns from all across the Southeast went through a virtual internship all summer. And we had them read 2 books over the course of summer, memorize 2 chapters and weekly lessons and stuff. But off of the book idea, which I now want to do it for our leaders, is we had them read Master Plan Evangelism, and then we'd have them do a couple things with it. But at the end, what we're doing is we broke up those 8 chapters, and each person took a chapter and volunteered to take a chapter and then write a follow-up study for each chapter. And then for all of our new leaders, what we're going to do is we're going to hand a Master Plan Evangelism to each new leader, and this 8 follow-up studies for each chapter to how to implement it locally in the church. And so not only were the interns able to learn for themselves personally and get inspired personally, but then also to take part in training others. So love the book idea. Thanks for sharing. All right, we'll move to the Zigglers. What up, folk?
Hey.
So here's our little son Levi. He just woke up. But we had some kind of funny ideas for on-campus kind of in-person evangelism during this season. Our weirdest idea by far is having a tabling sanitation station that we have hand sanitizer and masks and definitely not like coming too close with people, but yeah, that we could pass out little hand sanitizer bottles or whatever, maybe putting a sticker with our alpha omega info on there or something, and just giving out products that will market our group. Also having like giant posters on campus that kind of do like passive advertising that people can just check out our stuff like on our social media and stuff and get connected that way. But then also we have some funny events that we've done before that worked really good. We've done human foosball. So you could definitely do that social distance. We did that in an indoor soccer arena, or like you could do it on like a basketball court. And then also we were thinking what we've done before is giant yoga ball soccer. And even with that, you can kind of create little circles that people can stay within their 6-foot circle. But you guys, yoga ball soccer was like hysterical. Like people loved that one. So just a few things that could get people involved, even like in the middle of a day, in the day at like the rec center or even on a field just on campus, people can see us playing. So there's also things like Frisbee and Foursquare that we were thinking, but people might not want to touch each other's stuff, but that's where the hand sanitizing station could come in handy.
Yeah.
So those are some random ideas.
Love the hand sanitizing station idea. See, that is the creativity we need. Thank you, Zigglers. We need you guys right there. That is perfect. Because guys, we're doing so much virtually, but I appreciate the Zigglers. For those of us that have an in-campus component, even if it's not full on campus, and even if not every student is going to be on campus or have in-person classes, if there is an in-campus component for our universities, then we can have an on-campus, in-person campus ministry. We just have to figure out how to do it wisely. We have to figure out how to do it social distance, how to do it safely. We don't want to be dumb and stupid, and we want to be safe. But I love those creative ideas. Thanks. All right, let's keep going. Kayla Hubbs, you're up.
Kyla.
Sorry.
You're good. I became a disciple in Asheville, North Carolina, but I recently moved to Albuquerque, New Mexico. I apologize for not having my screen on. I have like major bedhead, but just one of the ideas that came up in our small group that I really enjoy and I want to kind of pick on more is like giving each of the campus I love my Asheville family. Giving each of the disciples on campus like bingo cards of really like wacko creative ideas. I don't know entirely what those would be, but just like one-off things that can be done individually and like kind of having a friendly competition, like who can make patterns on their bingo cards, like maybe having some kind of prizes, just like kind of making it fun and bringing some life into it.
Thanks for sharing, Kyla. And love the Asheville Church up there. John Sherwood was my first campus minister. But I'll even love what you're saying. If a lot of these ideas, I'll just say that what we have an opportunity to really empower people that have specific gifts that might not have been able to have as much influence in the past. Someone that's really incredible at social media, that's really creative at games, that's really arts and crafts to make things like that. I mean, we have a chance to really empower leaders that we wouldn't have thought of before during these COVID times. So I appreciate sharing that. All right, Lauren from Atlanta. Is that Lauren Sersha?
It is. Hi.
What's up, little sis? Go ahead.
Hey. Yeah, so this is something we talked about in our campus staff group that we just had, was that food has worked forever. Like campus students will take free food on campus, and something we even said was that it would allow us to know who's comfortable approaching people and talking to one another from a closer proximity. If they're willing to come over to your food table to get a snack, I don't know, freeze pop, or one of the girls said they did Taco Tuesdays on their campus. And so just really using free food as an opportunity to meet people. Yeah, that was it.
Amen. Thanks for sharing. We'll keep going. Sean and Jimena, we'll go to you guys.
All right. Hey, thanks so much. Inspired to be here. Yeah, so our campus is completely shut down right now. They're threatening to, if we meet even off campus, they'll cancel our organization. So having to get a little more creative, but definitely second the Instagram freshman hashtag page. We split into small groups and we really focused on prayer and praying for workers, Luke 10. But we were able to, message all these incoming freshmen and actually have a guy from the football team who's coming to our service next week. So, and a lot of others who expressed interest. Also trying to, have a guy studying who is in one of the main dorms. So gonna give him some little door hangers that we're gonna print out. We took a screenshot of what our virtual service looks like. Gonna put that picture on some door hangers and have him go through his dorm as we study discipleship with him, being a fisher of men, use that as an opportunity for him to actually, help us out in that way. We had a guy in our group who sent me a really good one, Colby from Denver. He said the registrar's office often has, like, they'll let you as an organization message particular students and give them their contact information in particular. So freshmen, you can have your organization, reach out to all the freshmen that way. The Keekleys were in our group. They had some really great ideas about just connecting with families, studying the Bible with the families of some of the incoming students, and even connecting the students to some of the other ministries in the church, like the marrieds ministry. So I really do feel like God is going to use this time, despite the limitations, kind of the way the persecution broke out in Acts, and yet the gospel scattered nonetheless. So really excited about what God's doing this semester, and so happy to be here. Thank you.
The only thing I'll add that I really appreciate about my husband, he had an idea with all the different small groups. He called it an evangelism event. So the different groups that midweek reached out to different people in the alphabet. So our groups had A to G. So everybody's first name that started with the A to G, we would reach out to them. And so that way we know that everybody's being reached out to. And the people actually really appreciate people being messaging them. And so I thought that was really, really cool how they were grateful and thank you for reaching out. And so, yeah, it was great.
Last thing, outdoor stuff. We were talking about men, how to reach men. So we're going, there's a guy we have that's close who's studying. We're going to go biking today. So it's outdoors, it's socially distant. I think that's a great way to also, get beyond just the Zoom. So that's all we got.
Amen. Thanks for sharing, guys. If you guys don't know Sean and him over in Memphis, they're inspiring folk. All right, we're gonna do the last three before we move on. So we're gonna do Mike Degree, then Chloe Walker, then Brian and Erica, and we'll close out with Mackie. So Mike Degree, you're up, bro.
All right. You hear me, Jordan?
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks, Jordan. Thanks, everybody from North River. I'm really learning a lot. A thing that we've tried during the COVID, summer, is we have our devotionals on Instagram Live. And then we recently started an idea that after our devotionals on Instagram Live, we'll have a post-sermon discussion. And it's been really cool. This past week and then the week before, we've been having visitors come. And the whole goal really for the post-sermon discussion, we want them to get to know us. But we have discussion questions. And I mean, our past discussion this past week, it was really, really awesome. People were sharing their hearts, and we were able to generate a Bible study from it. So I don't know, it's hard to connect with new people if we have our Instagram Live, because we can't really talk to them, but we have a post-sermon discussion. So it really kind of facilitates a way to generate new studies and to get to know people. So that was an awesome idea, and we really enjoyed it.
Thanks for that. That's great, because you combine the Instagram where everyone in the world has a chance to see it, but then how do you have the fellowship and the connection afterwards you would have on a Zoom? Love the combination there. Okay, Chloe Walker, you're up.
Awesome. Yeah, hi guys. I'm Chloe. I'm from San Diego. Thank you so much for having us here. One other evangelistic idea that totally not mine, one of my roommates actually came up with it that wasn't mentioned yet, was oftentimes Facebook or different schools will have a Facebook page for a certain graduating class at a university. So for example, like I read at UCSD and they have like 2022 graduating class, and like they add all of the 2022 people in there and for each class. And so we had the idea of getting on there and just posting messages regularly, adding people like not on our personal pages, but on our campus page, and just kind of reaching out to people that way. And then another thing that's worked really well for our ministry that isn't evangelistic has been like split men and women D groups. And we've seen a lot of fruit come from this and just connection amongst people. And especially, at least for me and for my girls, like we started regional, and we're going to end up kind of doing it congregationally too. But things like reading books together, which somebody already mentioned, I think our next plan is to like go through the BEMA podcast together, which if you haven't heard about BEMA, it's amazing. I'm sure you all have. But yeah, it's just an opportunity to really foster connections, a lot of vulnerability, which has been so inspiring. And I've seen girls who were far off when the semester started now are connected and like bought into the ministry, and it's been really encouraging for us. And I think it's also given us opportunity to kind of see who our up and coming leaders are, because I can ask different people to lead the discussions or kind of see how much they participate. And it's given us really clear eyes of like who we can count on and kind of delegate responsibility to. So it's been awesome.
Thanks so much for sharing. Love all that stuff. And we'll go Brian and Erica next.
Awesome. Hey guys, this is Brian and Erica from Austin. And Erica wants to share about an idea that we talked about in our small group.
Yes, so we have not implemented this yet, but this is our plan for the fall. We've noticed like we have we're on a really big university campus, but we've noticed that for some reason at our university, people just don't really respond to the big group things, even when we're not in COVID. Like they want kind of the more small, intimate things. Like they respond better to personal Bible study, that kind of thing. And so because our ministry is so small, we were thinking of doing kind of a campaign this fall of like every disciple is a Bible talk leader. Like everyone is gonna have like partner with somebody and have your own kind of smaller Bible talk, because people just seem to respond to that better. So, and because we're a smaller ministry, it might work better. Whereas if you have a bigger ministry, you need to start having bigger things. But we have a ministry of about 20. And so we're like, maybe we just pair each guy and girl and they each have their own Bible talk of like, pick a day during the week, go out, have your own Bible talk with your friends, with your peers in your classes, that kind of thing. So just trying to spark ownership and training within our small ministry.
And I think the hope is also that because it's going to be smaller and more intimate, it creates those feelings of connection that you lose. Because, you know, students are in Zoom classes all day. They're online. Like they're in these big, massive groups where they don't have a chance to really talk and connect. And so having these smaller groups where you can have a devotional together, go through a book together, where you can connect in a group of like 4 or 5, creates more opportunity to talk and have that back and forth, as opposed to doing a lesson where you have 40 people and, you know, only the leader really gets to talk. So yeah. I think kind of adjusting for Zoom in that way, where you're creating an opportunity to hang out as opposed to those big kind of massive groups.
Amen. No, I love all these ideas, and I love that. And I think the truth is now our momentum is not going to be built through our large groups during COVID. It's going to be built through the small groups. It's going to be built through one another relationships and through Bible studies. One thing that we started doing like a year ago that I think has a lot of merit now is we started having in our Bible talks every other week. We would do a Bible discussion, and then we ended up calling Passion Nights, and where we chose one person from the Bible talk and for them to say, hey, what are you passionate about? What do you love doing? Let's do that night. And so whether it's, okay, play basketball, whether it's watch a movie, whether it's cooking, whether it's going and serving the poor, whether it's going out and playing soccer, whether it's doing arts and crafts, no matter what it is. And we do that. But the thing, when you're doing something that you're passionate about, you invite your friends that you know are also passionate about that. And then what it does is you empower each person in the Bible talk, but you also help people do, even though I don't like playing basketball, I know we're going to do what I want to do later in the semester. So I'm willing to come and make a fool of myself playing basketball this week. And because so it helps that family bond. And during COVID, we know that there's going to be a lot of people, like you guys are saying, that have Zoom fatigue. The students the students on campus that aren't in our ministry are also going to have Zoom fatigue. What they're going to be looking for is, what's a small group I can go and do something I love doing with. And man, if our Bible talks can really find those people that love basketball or love arts and crafts or love watching whatever it is, then we can really empower them. I think it really is through our small groups that are going to be really powerful this semester. And before we close out this time, I do want to encourage you guys, man, push yourself to think well. Push yourself to think through this semester, whether it's having a vision, being intentional, being creative, and then persevering through all of it. Push yourself to do that. But I also want to encourage everyone that's joining, man, as leaders, when you're looking at the COVID semester, man, we have to say there's so much a successful COVID semester. Man, of course we want to see conversions and so many different things like that, and God will bless that. But also don't diminish the power of training your leaders during this time. if by the end of this fall you have more trained leaders than ever before, then when the semester opens back up, man, that will produce fruits. So I think for all of us to really call ourselves to, man, what can I do creatively, intentionally, and have vision for my leaders this time, just as much as we're coming up with creative ideas to reach out online, to do creative things on campus that are social distance and things like that.